There you go. You finished the value staircase. How did it go? The value staircase is not as easy peasy as one might think. It isn't as easy as we think it may be at first, because very few have taken the time to think about what actually matters to us. We are too busy being busy. If you need more clarification on how to figure out and clarify and narrow down your core values, we have a couple more exercises to help you go a little deeper. Personal values. The two big tips I have to help you identify your correct core values, not somebody else's, but yours, is 1, look forward, and 2, look backwards. Looking forward. Here's a list of values that we are told that we should compare ourselves to one another to. A list of values that society and social media make us think that we need to have. Instant and constant pleasure and gratification. This can lead to several forms of addiction and substance abuse. Material success. Many measure their success based on the car they drive, how many pillows are on their bed, or how green their lawn is. Always being right. This stops you from learning from your mistakes. Staying positive about everything. Constant positivity is the avoidance of real-life problems. We rob ourselves from the ability to solve problems when we pretend that everything is sunshine and rainbows, or say, at least we don't have it bad as so-and-so, which is a very Canadian thing to say. Popularity and odds wanting to be liked by everyone, and being rich for the sake of being rich. Here's a list of healthy, wealthy, and wise values. Standing up for yourself, standing up for others, having some self-respect, taking responsibility for everything, the good, the bad, regardless who's at fault, and knowing thyself. Knowing your weaknesses so you can improve or delegate. Knowing your strengths so you can go from good to great. Answer this all-important question. What is your definition of success? This question is often asked, but sadly, rarely answered truthfully. Unknowingly, we often give our definition of what success is by our parents, commercial media, and the Instagram Joneses. Forget about everyone else, especially the Instagram Joneses. Ask yourself, what is success to me? What truly makes me happy? What actually gives me joy? Not what I think it should be, but what actually gives me joy. When am I the most satisfied? And how can I tangibly measure when I've arrived? Write down my definition of success and do it now. All right, you just wrote down your definition of your success. Good job. Now, part 2 of identifying your core values is to look backwards. Looking backward, write your own eulogy. Okay, you just got hit by a bus last night. Ouch. You're lying in your casket listening to your own eulogy. How would your eulogy read? How would you like it to read? Out of all the know thyself exercises, this one right here was perhaps the most dramatic and effective. It woke me up. It made me realize I wasn't living the life that I wanted to be living. I hope it helps you too. Now, right now is the time to enjoy your life, build strong relationships, and focus on what's truly important to you. Take the time and write your own eulogy. Whew. Okay, you might have saved the writing the eulogy for later, but when you do, I tell you, it's going to make a big difference. Probably some tears shed there, or maybe you became quite angry like I did when I wrote my own eulogy. Anyways, let's move on. What are your goals, your why, your bucket list? Your core values should be your active guide rails for designing your even better future. Now that we discussed what's important to you, the next step is to write down your tangible goals. The future will come for you if you plan for it or not. Will you have a future that you want, or a future that just happens by default? As you look down the road, what's a tangible goal that requires money and planning? Give it a name. Dream with the deadline. Write down the exact date that you want your goal with the name to be achieved. And then picture yourself having achieved that goal and write down 2 to 3 words describing how you feel. For an example, one of the goals is, when do you want to stop working? You don't actually have to, but when would you like to stop working? So you can write down maybe financial independence, or as one of my clients wrote down, FU money. That was the name of his goal. He determined that he needed 10,000 K a month to come in, and he wanted to achieve that by January 1st, 2030. Now, you've probably read several statistics about people that write down their goals versus those that don't. Not surprisingly, the goal setters outpace the values by a wide margin. We'll not spend much time on the virtues of goal setting, so start writing down what you want, when exactly you want them, and how much money it will take. This will put you ahead of the other 90%, just this exercise alone. My son is currently taking the True Hockey program to help improve his shot. His coach has him doing several puck exercises to form good habits. All of his shooting exercises have one thing in common. They all have a very small target to aim for. When I was in the training room, I heard, you can practice all that you want and train all that you want, but if you don't have something to aim for, your brain loses interest and your work will be a lot less effective. Wow, that sounds exactly the same as goal setting. So be specific with your goal. I can't stress this enough. Have a specific date, a day, month, and a year. Not 5 years from now, but a specific date, and with the specific dollar amount needed to achieve your goal. Asking really good questions will lead to really great answers. As mentioned in section 2, sometimes we're so busy being busy, we don't know exactly what we want. To make goal setting even more easier, more effective, answer the following questions. All right, scenario 1. There's a knock on the door. When you open it, you've been just rewarded a check with $10 million. What are you going to do? What will you change? What do you want to accomplish? Write this down now. Scenario number 2, there's a knock on the door. You open it, it's your doctor, and they say, I have some good news and some bad news for you. Bad news is you're only going to live for the next 5 to 7 years due to this rare disease. But the good news is there are no side effects, no ailments. You will not experience any pain or symptoms. You will simply pass on 5 to 7 years. What are you going to do? What will you change? What do you want to accomplish? Scenario number 3. Write those answers down now. Scenario 3 is the same as scenario 2, but this time you only have 1 year. What are you going to do? What are you going to change? What do you want to accomplish? Write that down. And scenario number 4, enough of the morbid stuff. You've been just selected to go on Elon Musk's spaceship to Mars, and you've been granted 1 hour to do whatever you want with whomever you want, wherever you want. If you knew you only had 1 hour left on this planet, who are you spending with? What are you doing? And as you're boarding the space shuttle, what advice are you passing on? Write this down now. Now that you've established what's important to you and written down your goals, now is the time to focus on the small steps that are necessary to achieve those goals. As the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time.